Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Amna Ahmed from Agriculture University, Faisalabad, and I'm MPhil scholar. Our topic of discussion for today is fish-borne parasitic zoonosis as major food safety concern. First of all, let me define the term zoonosis, which is although very common and surely everyone will know it. Zoonosis is an infectious disease that has jumped from a non-human animal to human or transmission of an animal disease to the human. They can be bacterial, viral, or parasitic in their nature and can be transmitted either through direct contact, contaminated food or water, or the environment. Foodborne diseases are transmitted by consuming contaminated food or drinking contaminated water. Some examples of foodborne diseases are calcivirus, rotavirus, hepatitis A and E, and Toxoplasma giardia. Fish is consumed all over the world, and infectious diseases transmitted to humans by eating fish are termed as fish-borne zoonotic diseases. Among all sorts of fish-borne infectious diseases, parasitic diseases are most prevalent and most problematic. Some important zoonotic parasites of fish are Capillaris philippinensis, Gnathostomiasis histopedum, Aniscus, and trematodes are Clonorchis sinensis, Opisthorbis vivirini, and Diphyllobothrium latum is an important cestode of fish. Let me give you a brief explanation of parasitic life cycle and transmission. Eggs are shed in the feces of the marine mammal. Then they develop into the larvae, which are eaten by the zooplankton, and then they reach to the body of marine fish, where they grow into adult parasite and reside in the muscle and gut of the fish. Marine fish are the main source from where the infections spread in the human, the freshwater fish, and the marine mammal. In the marine mammal, the larvae and the adult reside in the digestive tract. There are some risk factors for the spread of these fish-borne parasitic diseases, and they are the global warming or the environmental changes we all humans as well as animals on this planet Earth all are facing. The intensification of aquaculture, the disposal of waste into the water bodies, the short cooking time for the fish and all the dishes that involve fish in it, stocking of imported fish in new aquatic habitats are linked to new patterns of infection, animal transportation, cultural variation in fish eating behaviors, like some people prefer eating cultured dishes that involve raw, undercooked, pickled, or poorly prepared fish. Global fish trading also increases the parasitic transmission worldwide, and lastly, immigration and other such demographical changes. The control of fish-borne parasitic diseases need to be multidisciplinary and multi-sectoral participation. But here are few strategies that are in use, and we can use these to control the transmission of fish-borne parasitic diseases. Fish farming, first of all, the fish farming. Fish farming practices need to be improved. The transmission of the infection to the intermediate host need to be controlled. Similarly, the transmission of infection to the reservoir host also need to be restricted. Infected fish or their viscera should not be discarded in the water bodies because they can be source of infection for other fish. Environmental sanitation should be monitored. Aquaculture system need upgradation to control the transmission, which will ultimately result into controlled disease. People should avoid poorly prepared fish, either poorly cooked or pickled fish, as it is the major cause of the spread of zoonotic parasitic diseases. And lastly, We can perform the mass chemotherapy of the people residing in the endemic areas regarding fish-borne parasitic diseases. The take-home message from all of this discussion should be the global food standards need to be maintained. Again, avoid consumption of raw or poorly cooked fish and maintain sanitary conditions. Regarding future work, few things need to be focused. First of all, morphological identification of parasites need to be maintained by using molecular approaches like molecular markers, genetic markers, and phylogenetic analysis. Fish parasites, their host association, and host ranges are misunderstood for quite a long time. And researchers need to do accurate taxonomy and distribution. And lastly, researchers need to develop specific molecular or immunological methods to aid diagnosis. And here we end our presentation. I hope you enjoyed listening to this presentation and got a point or two as new information. Thank you.